Okay, I don't know how much more of this sensitivity I can take within culture today. Luckily, this isn't in the United States. Well, I should say this. There are some places in the United States where this has happened, but Oxford University, which for those of you who don't know, is not in America, but it is in England. They just, oh my God. I saw this story and I didn't even know what to say. I don't know how much softer we can get. Okay, this is from The Sun. Snowflake Oxford University students ban clapping and replace it with jazz hands to stop anxiety. Okay. Students have banned clapping at Oxford University in case the noise triggers anxiety. I'm going to try to get through the article and then I'm going to come back and react. But you guys already know that my success rate with that is usually about around 0%. It will instead be replaced by the waving of hands, used in sign language for applause. Student union leaders hope it will make its meetings and events more accessible and inclusive to those with anxiety. One former student fumed, Oxford University Student Union is always seeking to become more accommodating. But this idea will not work and it's completely ludicrous. But Rosen McCallion, Vice President for Welfare and Equal Opportunities, said the policy was proposed in order to encourage the use of British Sign Language clapping during our democratic events to make those events more accessible and inclusive for all, including people who suffer from anxiety. Inclusivity is one of Oxford Students' Union's founding principles. I'm sure it is. It comes after Manchester University passed a motion to do the same thing in September last year. That decision caught the attention of Jeb Bush, the brother of former U.S. President George W. Bush, who said, "Not cool, University of Manchester. Not cool." TV presenter Piers Morgan also blasted the move, saying Britain's losing its mind. Meanwhile, Jeremy Vine posted a picture of soldiers in the trenches during World War I, suggesting they had managed to ignore the difficulties caused by sudden noises 100 years ago. Jazz hands were adopted by the National Union of Students in 2015 on the basis that clapping triggers anxiety. Critics say such behavior is typical of the snowflake generation of students who are seen as oversensitive. Is that it? Yep, that's it. That's all there is in the article. I made it all the way through. Okay, so how stupid is this? Clapping triggering anxiety. Let me just say this. There's a lot of people in this world with anxiety. Some of it is reasonable, and some of it, I'm just going to come out and say it, is just plain stupid. Because, I'll say this. There are some people who say, okay, well, let me give this story. No, I won't give the story. I'll do this first. It's interesting. There are people where I got to give the story. Okay, so I was at a graduation one time, and what happened was, they call the names, and then, they always tell people don't applaud, don't applaud, try to wait until the end so they can get through all the names, relatively quickly. But that never works. Okay, you know that. Now, I remember, everyone, getting a round of applause and stuff happened. I remember they called this one guy's name. I don't remember what it was. It was the first time I had ever seen it happen. No one clapped. No one cheered. I mean, they said his name, and it was crickets. I was like shocked that even happened. But you know, that's just one thing. But I gotta say this: if you are anxious over, if you are anxious because of clapping, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, man. You're soft. I mean, you are a cupcake. You're a cupcake. I mean, that's pitiful. And you know, I know some schools, they have this no clapping policy, for the fact that, okay, you know, not everyone gets the same amount of applause, and you don't want certain people to feel bad because they didn't get a certain amount of applause. I think that's just absolute garbage. I think that's an absolute joke. Because let me tell you something. If your biggest concern is how many people cheer for you, you're weak sauce. And I'm going to say this: you're not ready for the real world. If that is your biggest concern, or a major concern to you, you're not ready for the real world. Everyone's not going to cheer for you. Everyone's not going to love you. Everyone's not going to like you. Most times, here's the thing. At your graduation, you're not going to know most people. I barely remember my 8th grade promotion and my high school graduation. I barely remember it. The only things I remember from my high school graduation was the end. When the ceremony was over. I remember I walked with my friend Kobe to the back of the stadium so we could go get our diplomas, because they didn't give us our real ones when we walked across, because they didn't want anyone acting stupid, which, you know, was, you know, kind of makes sense. And I was like, okay, this is pretty good. It's just a few minutes more. But so we walked to the back, we got our things, took maybe, I don't know, a minute, and then we started taking pictures with each other. That's the only I started taking pictures with people that I wanted to take pictures with. People took pictures with me that wanted to take pictures with me. And that's all I remember. I don't remember. I couldn't even tell you who went. I couldn't tell you the people who went to my graduation. I know my family was there. But I'm serious. It's stories like these where I'm just like, we are so soft, and I find that I keep talking about this lately. Our lives are so good. Our lives are so good, and we are so privileged and so blessed to live at this period in history that humans need conflict. Humans need problems. And so when there is nothing, we create something out of nothing. And this right here, where we talk about taking, you want to get rid of clapping because you don't want to trigger people's anxiety. No, I don't. Oh my God, it's just so pitiful. It is so pitiful. And listen to what they say. Listen to what they say down. Okay, they say, where is it? Inclusive for all. No, that's not it. It's always seeking to be more accommodating. No, I just saw it. I just had it. Okay. The basis that clapping triggers anxiety. I just have to. I don't know. It's just so dumb. It is just so stupid to have this where you say, okay, you know, how can we make people feel more included? How can we make everyone feel more comfortable? I have an idea. Yes, Reg, you have an idea? What's your idea? Let's get rid of clapping, and let's use jazz hands. Because we don't want we don't want people feeling bad. We don't want people with anxiety to get scared, which I can't envision. I can't envision a scenario. So I look at this. So graduation. I'm just going to take a graduation for a second. Okay. There's going to be clapping at a graduation. You know that. There's going to be cheering, there's going to be hooping, there's going to be hollering. If clapping gives you anxiety and it scares you because it just suddenly starts, you don't really understand what a graduation is. It's a celebration. People are going to clap. There's going to be noises. I was going to record this podcast earlier, but, some stuff happened. I had a lot more to say earlier, but now all I can do is just shrug my shoulders. I mean, this is a joke. This is an absolute joke. I can't. Here's the problem. When you make the vast majority of people to change their ways for a small minority, that's when you have a problem. I think this isn't really related, but this is one of my problems with the gender movement. You have this issue where you have these transgenders and you have this very small portion in the population, like and this is just a number off the top of my head, but 0.001% of the population wants the 99.999% to change for them. They're saying, okay, you're going to use our words. Z, Zim, Zer, and they want the vast majority of society to change for them. That's why it's such a joke. That's why, it brings a lot of resentment. Because I look at I compare it to the LGBT, the lesbians, gays, and bisexuals. I'll to those people, in terms of their who they're attracted to and stuff like that. The trans movement and the gender movement is an entirely different thing to me. But the LGBs and whatever else you want to throw in there, they just said, okay, just let us be, let us marry who we want to marry, let us keep our jobs and just let us live and just allow us to do these things in our private lives, and that's it. And that is okay, but when the problem is when you want the vast majority, to change for a small, very small minority, it's like, well, what are we doing here? I just have a question. How, out of 100 people, how many will you find that have, and how many people will you find that have anxiety that is triggered through clapping? These aren't fireworks. These aren't gunshots. These aren't firecrackers. I don't comprehend this. I don't comprehend this at all. And I'm done with this topic. I'm done. I have nothing else to say about this. It just sickens me how soft we're getting. And for a smooth transition there, I'm gonna go into the next, snowflake issue, or my next snowflake topic here. So this is from the Western Journal. This is so stupid. I'm still trying to figure out which of these topics is more stupid, and I have to think that this one that I'm about to do is even more stupid. Okay. Bed Bath & Beyond, and if you don't know what that is, that's a store where they sell a bunch of stuff, you can pretty much find anything in there except food. Okay, Bed Bath & Beyond removes black jack-o'-lanterns after backlash. Extreme lack of sensitivity. Yes, you heard that right. Okay. Now, let me get into the article. If there are two colors that you associate with Halloween, they're orange and black. That's true. When you think of Halloween, those are the first things that come into my head. The color is orange and black. That's just me. And I think that's most people. Given this, you would think a black jack-o'-lantern wouldn't spark that much controversy. However, and this is, oh my god, it's so stupid. However, Bed Bath & Beyond has taken black decorative pumpkins off of its shelves after two of them sparked a controversy in New York. Good old liberal New York, man. According to News 12, the pumpkins, which have white lips, eyes, and noses, first became an issue when they were put on the front porch of a law firm in the New York Village. The pumpkins had the names of the partners on the law firm on them. Here they are in this picture, okay? And there are, they're two pumpkins, two fake pumpkins that are black, and it's whatever. You wouldn't even think about it. The law firm began to receive complaints that the pumpkins looked like they were in blackface. Blackface. You heard that correctly. I can't even comprehend this. You see what I'm saying? People are reaching for something when there is nothing. Who was it that is walking along the street or into the law firm and they say, you know what? Those pumpkins, are they in blackface? I mean, just stupid. Just stupid. And listen to this. Not only that, but the local NAACP chapter got involved too. Displaying the pumpkins shows an extreme lack of sensitivity. What are you talking about? Explain that to me. What are you talking about? You were talking about pumpkins that are... Who was thinking about blackface during Halloween season? I think I've said this before. I don't care I don't care for Halloween. I think it's a joke. I'm really not interested in it. I think it's a waste of time. But I'm certainly not thinking about, wow, that. And see, here's the thing. It's one thing if it was a costume, I would get it in the society that we live in. But we are now taking black, fake pumpkins that just have white eyes and a white mouth and a white nose. And we're saying, and people are saying that's blackface, and it looks like they're in blackface, and it shows an extreme lack of sensitivity. Here we go. Displaying the pumpkins shows an extreme lack of sensitivity, according to NAACP Regional Director Wilbur Aldridge. Good Lord, this is what ignorance! Just such ignorance. By now, I would believe everyone would know that anything in blackface is offensive. It's not blackface. It's not blackface. Equally as offensive is that a retail store would have such an item in their inventory for general purchase. No, who is going to the store picking what? Let me just say this. Well, let me ask this. What racist individual is going into Bed Bath & Beyond, seeing these black pumpkins, picking them up and saying, well, doggone it, if I didn't know any better, I'd say these pumpkins are in blackface. I'm really gonna try to offend some Negroes and some liberal snowflakes. Because that's just their goal when they go into Bed Bath & Beyond. They like the decorations, and they got them. No one was even thinking about No one was thinking about blackface. I mean, some people just have too much time on their hands, and they have nothing they don't have anything serious going on in their life, to where they look at this. I wouldn't even notice these people's decorations. I can't. Good Lord, I don't know. Okay, so no longer Bed Bath & Beyond has taken them off of its shelves. I'm telling you, here's what I want you to do if you're listening to this. Look up a picture, just type in like Bed Bath & Beyond black pumpkins. And you will see what I see. People are reaching. No one is even thinking. No one is even remotely considering blackface. No one's even thinking about it. In a statement, the store said that they had removed the jack-o'-lanterns from their inventory once they were contacted by News 12. We have immediately removed the item from sale, the company said via a statement. This is a sensitive area, and though unintentional, we apologize for any offense caused. The store added that it had meant no offense by the product, obviously considering that they had stocked it as part of their Halloween merchandise, although they neglected to say whether they had received any other complaints. The law firm is also apologizing. We understand that someone complained about them, and so once we got word of that, we immediately took them down. I wouldn't do it. I'm sorry. I wouldn't. No, I'm not. No, I don't know why I just said that. I'm not sorry. I wouldn't. Okay, you don't like my decorations. Okay, so what? I mean, if that's really the world we're gonna live in, I don't know what else to say, man. I don't know what else to say. I mean, we're sitting here, we're talking about. It's like, okay, I hear someone doesn't like my decorations, and who cares? We represent people of all colors and faiths, and we would never do anything to exclude anyone from any community. No one is excluded. We're talking about pumpkins. Not even real pumpkins at that. I don't know. Look, and listen to this. Alec Shaw is thinking like a normal person here. Marzola's associate said that the thought of the pumpkins being racist hadn't even crossed his mind. Because, I'm going to say this again, offense is taken. You can take anything and you can get offended by it. That, if you get offended, that is on you. That's on you. That's not on the person. If someone, I'm going to say this again, if someone says nigger to my face, I'm not, if I get offended, it's on me, it's not on them. They can't make me feel a certain way. Here we go. Back to the article. It's just nothing. This is Alex Shaw talking. It's just nothing I take offense to personally, but since it did offend someone, we took proactive steps to take it down. That's ridiculous. See, that's why it'd be hard for me to, have my own business and things like that and, deal with people where they say, oh, I don't like what you have right there. I'd say, get a life. Like, get a life. Like, is that it? Like, you came all this way to tell me that? Seriously, I mean, you had nothing better to do in your life at this moment, and so you took time out of your day, out of your life, to come and tell me that you think my pumpkins are racist because they are plastic pumpkins that are black with white eyes, nose, and lips. This is I just I can't. I can't. I mean, it's just so dumb. It's so stupid. It's so, I can't even, I feel like I'm getting dumber reading this. I already read it before, but like every time I read this and look at this, I'm just like, oh God, I feel like my IQ is dropping by like 10 points each time I read this. That's it. I can't look. I can't talk about this anymore. I can't. I can't do it. Okay, so that's it for the snowflake news, man. All right. Oh my God. Okay, I can't. Okay, here we go. Gosh, that's so cancerous. It's so cancerous. I mean, who has that kind of time on their hands? Seriously, I mean, forget being offended. Who has that kind of time on their hands to say, oh, I think that's racist. That could be, that looks like it could be blackface. In case you didn't know, pumpkins are not people. People are not pumpkins. This, and mind you, remember, this wasn't even a costume. It wasn't like someone dressed in blackface. Because then I'd be like, okay, you know what, you're soft, but I guess I get it. I guess. This is just reaching. You're clawing and grabbing and scratching at nothing. Dear God, okay. Here we go. New Mexico quarterback accused of exposing himself to woman on campus. Suspended indefinitely. Here we go. You guys probably already know where I'm going with this. New Mexico quarterback I can't pronounce this first name. I'm going to say Jones. New Mexico quarterback Jones was suspended indefinitely Wednesday, days after he was accused of exposing and inappropriately touching himself in front of a woman on campus. A complaint filed with the University of New Mexico Police Department revealed that Jones exposed his genitalia to a woman at a parking garage, according to the Albuquerque Journal. The woman told police that she was inside her car when another car drove slowly near her vehicle. She said she left her car and asked the driver if they were good, and she said he responded asking her for 10 seconds or something similar to that, according to the newspaper. She said she walked closer to the car and saw the driver's window was open and the driver was masturbating. The woman identified the man as Jones from social media pictures that she had seen on mutual friends' profiles. According to the Albuquerque Journal, security footage caught the driver's license plate, and police said the car was registered to Jones. Police failed to catch the act and were unable to clearly identify whether the driver in question was Jones, the paper reported. Now, I'm going to say this. Well, you know what? Let me finish the article. Jones was not arrested and there was no warrant issued for his arrest, but was summoned to appear at Bernalillo. Should hope I didn't butcher that. County Metropolitan Court on November 7th, the paper reported. New Mexico coach Bob Davie announced that Jones was suspended indefinitely. I talked to him on Monday when I was first made aware of the charges and communicated to him that he was suspended, Davie said. Obviously, it was a very serious accusation. Because of that, he's indefinitely suspended from the team. The proper protocol has been followed. The people that make those investigations and those decisions, it's in their hands now. New Mexico was set to take on Hawaii this Saturday. Okay, so now this is interesting because we do have video evidence. So there's security footage again. According to the Albuquerque Journal, security footage caught the driver's license plate, and police said the car was registered to Jones. Now that's key. But here's the problem. Here's the hiccup here. Police failed to catch the act and were unable to clearly identify whether the driver in question was Jones, the paper reported. Because here's the thing. What happens here is... Now, I'll say this. It does look like it is him. It looks like it is Jones. I mean, I'm not... I should rephrase that. Based off these circumstances, it sounds more likely than not that it was Jones, unless he lent the car to someone else, which is entirely possible. Okay? It's possible. But there was no clear identification of who the driver was. And that is what is important. So, here's what could happen. If Jones can prove that, so here's the great thing about security footage. It's going to be time-stamped. So if you just look at the timestamp and say, okay, is this what you were doing at this time? And if he is able to prove that he was elsewhere at that time, then he's in the clear, because it's very clear, yes, that's my car. He may just say, oh, I lent it to someone, and that is my car, that is my license plate, but that's not me. So we don't know what's going to happen here. I'm going to say this. If this is true, it's just nasty. I mean, just doing it. I don't understand people masturbating in public. I don't understand it. Especially like in a car, you're in a confined space. You really can't get that comfortable in a car. I don't understand that. But this is interesting. We're gonna see what happens. Do I think it's him? I'm not saying he did do this, but I am saying it's not looking good for him. And I would say more likely than not, it is him. Unless he took, unless he lent his car. Okay, so, just, man, this is interesting. That's all I'm going to say. So that's really all I have to say about this. There's not too much information. I'm definitely going to follow this. Because you guys know how I am concerning Me Too stuff. I think it's very serious. I think it's very important. Okay, yeah, that's that. We'll see. Oh, and you know what? Let me also talk about this. People talk about, I was talking to my friend about, indefinite suspensions when things happen like this. And I kind of asked him, I was like, do you think that's the best situation? Or I should say, do you think that's the best approach? To where if you are accused of something, that you are immediately removed from, like I asked him, I was like, say someone accused you of doing something and you were suspended from Sac State. Is that a good way? Is that the best approach? What happened? Is that the best? And we kind of got into the discussion, and we said, in a way it is. I said, but my contention was that, okay, if you are going to suspend the person, if you're going to here's what I believe. I believe all parties involved, if you're going to suspend the supposed perpetrator, you have to suspend the supposed victim as well. Here's why. Because you have to keep it even. Because just removing one person from the situation is not a good thing. Because then, they can get some support. It's like, oh, this person's not at school. Mostly because they're not allowed to be at school. So to me, it's like, okay, I would say, okay, both of you, okay, all of you, here's what I say. It's not even that they both get suspended indefinitely, but what I say is, okay, both, like, all people involved should get the same thing happens. If the accuser can stay, the supposed perpetrator can stay until it's all cleared up. But if you want to have the alleged perpetrator suspended indefinitely, you indefinitely suspend the accuser. Because you're punishing just based off words. That's all it is. That's all it is at that time. And what, I look at myself, and he brought this up. He said, do you think that you should be reimbursed? Do you think that you should be reimbursed if you're accused and you had to be suspended indefinitely? And I said, absolutely. Because you pay tuition up front. And so you suspend me, I can't go to classes. Now I don't know his indefinite, I don't know if he can't, I know he's away from the team, but I don't know about him being at school. But, just for a regular college student, it's just like, okay, so you can't come to school. Okay, well, I've already paid tuition. So, is the school going to give that back to me? After all is said and done? And, like say, here's the thing. Let's say this allegation was made up. You indefinitely suspended me. I couldn't go to classes. And I've already paid for those days. I paid for the semester. But you are going to come to me and say, okay, you got to go. I just lost money. I've lost, say they suspend me a week. Say I'm definitely suspended for a week. That's a few $100s that I've lost out on, that I've already paid. Are you going to give that back to me? I don't know. It's just an interesting situation. And I don't know. I just wanted to tie that in because it was a discussion that I had fairly recently. I think like earlier. Yeah, it was earlier this week that I had it, but it was really interesting. We just kind of meandered through. I may have him on the podcast one day, actually. Like, we have such good conversations. And I'm just like, man, you gotta come on one day. But, scheduling conflicts, and, we're gonna try to figure it out. And, hopefully I can have him on. But he's definitely, I just love talking to him. Okay. Now, disclaimer here. This, there is some foreign names that I'm not used to. I'm not going to try to pronounce them because you guys already know how I am. I don't like butchering names. I don't know how to pronounce these names. Okay? I just think it's disrespectful to just butcher someone's name. I think it's just better to not say the person's name if you don't know how to pronounce it. You could try to guess, and you could try to ask them, okay, I don't know how to say this, and then you try to spell it. Obviously, these people involved are not here, so I can't do that. So you guys already know my routine. I'm just not going to say names. I'm going to do initials. Okay. So, 16 sentenced to death for Bangladesh student's murder. A court in Bangladesh has sentenced 16 people to death for the murder of a teenager who was set on fire after she reported sexual harassment. The ruling in southeast Bangladesh's Feni district, about 100 miles southeast from the capital, DACA comes 6 months after 19-year-old NJR was killed. R had filed a sexual harassment complaint with local police and named her school principal SUD as one of the accused. Police spokeswoman BKM said SUD then contracted several people to kill the teenager and ordered the perpetrators to make her death look like a suicide. On April 6, NJR was lured out of her classroom and onto the roof, where a group of men wearing burqas gagged and restrained her. They drenched her in kerosene and set her on fire. Now, this isn't the point. This isn't the point I'm trying to make. But I have to say this. When I came across this, okay. First of all, if you are gonna, okay. First of all, that doesn't look like a suicide. That just doesn't look like a suicide. If he says make it look like a suicide, you restrain her, which is, it's gonna show up. It's gonna show up, on the forensic evidence. It's gonna show that she was restrained. It's gonna show that she was gagged, because her breathing was restricted. So that's gonna show up, and you set her on fire. Okay, that's not how suicides work. That doesn't even make any sense to me. That approach just doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, that's not the point. I just had to say that because I was like, okay, they did a pretty bad job of doing what they were told to do, which is just disgusting. I mean, just a horrendous, just an absolutely horrendous, oh my God, some people, man. On April 6th, NJR was able to make an official statement before succumbing to her injuries 4 days later. Her case sparked nationwide protests with people demanding justice for the student. The principal was one of the 16 sentenced to death on Wednesday. Each of the 16 was also fined $1,183. Okay, this is despicable. This is despicable. So, she accuses him of sexual assault. And let's just say this. Let's say this. I'm going to play out multiple scenarios. Let's say I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Let's say she was lying, okay? Let's say she was lying and she said my principal sexually assaulted me. Okay. If I'm the principal, I'm not going to say, okay, kill her. No, that's not what you do. That's disgusting. And then, she accuses you. Or let me go back. Let's say she's telling the truth. She says, okay, my principal raped me. Or, whatever. He sexually assaulted me. It doesn't go into all the details. It just says sexual assault. So, he sexually assaulted me. You still don't kill her. Oh my God, it's just sick. It's just sick. This girl's just trying to get an education, just trying to do her thing, trying to improve her lot, and her final days on this earth are racked with pain. I mean, that is serious stuff, man. I mean, you are a sick person to set someone on fire. You are, first of all, to just First of all, to just kill someone, not out of self-defense or anything like that, but just to, just to kill, you're a sick person. But to set someone on fire and have them suffer, like it's not like you slit the throat and then their neck just bleeds out and then they die within fairly quickly. That's not what this is. You restrain her. She's begging and pleading for her life. You gag her so she can't call for help. No one can hear her. You douse her in kerosene, which does not smell good. That's kind of one of the least of your problems. And then you're set on fire. That is sick. These are sick individuals. They have been sentenced to death. And that's really all I got to say about this, man. Some people are just sick and twisted. Sick and twisted monsters. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. So I'm just going to stop right there. And you guys will hear from me on Monday.